The National Labor Relations Board has ruled that McDonald's can be held accountable for their franchisees making bad decisions when it comes to certain wages or hiring and firing practices. So, for instance, if there is a particular franchise owner who has unlawfully fired someone, in the past, McDonald's Corporation couldn't be held liable for that because they would say, it's not our decision. We're not the ones who regulate what these franchisees do. They're the ones who make these decisions. Well, the National Labor Relations Board has now decided, no, McDonald's can be held liable. And in fact, there are certain instances where they do tell franchise owners what they can and can't do. So this is actually good news because it could lead to McDonald's unionizing, which is what a lot of the fast food workers want.
So, believe it or not, I'm a little mixed on this because I understand what McDonald's is saying. They're like, look, we don't hire and fire those people, the franchisees do. On the other hand, I understand what labor is saying. They're saying you're hiding behind the franchises because exactly for this reason. You don't want to be held liable. You don't want to pay decent wages. So you say, sure, I didn't do it. Now, but in reality, you tell the franchise 100 different things, how to cook their french fries. And oftentimes, in fact, they even give advice in one instance about how to keep wages low. Yes. Okay.
I think that is evidence, again, like the biggest piece of evidence against McDonald's.
It is, but it was in one instance out of the 181 claims. And by the way, only 43 of the claims he said were legitimate. The others he dismissed. Okay. So the guy's fair. He's obviously looking at the actual facts of the case. And I think overall it's a good thing because I think minimum wage in this country is way too low and it hasn't kept up with not just inflation, but also the productivity of the American worker, and it's led to an imbalance as to who's actually getting the money that corporations are creating. Now, I think McDonald's actually does make a lot of money. The question is, are the workers going to get any of that, or is it all going to go to the executives? And this helps to even that balance out. So, in a different circumstance, I can understand McDonald's argument, but in the circumstance, in the context that we have here in America, where wages are so low, and companies do these tricks to make sure they're not held responsible, then I'm with the labor board here, and I think that
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm definitely with the labor board in this particular case, and I think that it is good if it does lead to unionized workers, because at least in that case, maybe they'll have collective bargaining, maybe they'll have certain rights to ensure that these fast food workers are compensated fairly for their work. Because right now, I mean, when you consider inflation, the money that they're making isn't enough for them to make ends meet. And that's the model that the fast food industry has kind of set up. If you look at McDonald's specifically, last year they made $5 billion in profits alone, right? And so you can share a little bit of that. You can pay your employees a little more, but they refuse to do so.
Yeah, no, I love when they say, well, look, we obviously can't pay our employees more. Well, it's literally not true. Right? If you make $5 billion in profit, of course you could pay them more. You're just choosing not to. And when they say we can't, they mean, no, the stock market demands that we make at least 15% return extra every single year. So my stock price would go down a little bit, and my end of the year bonus wouldn't be as high for the executives if I pay the workers more.
Yes.
So that's why I can't pay them more.
Yes.
See, because then I would only make $1.2 million in bonus instead of $1.5 million in bonus, which is what I deserve.
By the way, one more important thing that I do want to mention, McDonald's, the corporation, was actually caught giving the franchise owners guidelines as to how many employees they should have during each shift. And that was another problem because they weren't having enough people on each shift, and so they were overworked. They weren't able to get the breaks that they needed. So that's another problem. That's another piece of evidence that worked against McDonald's in this case.